You used to be the smart one, not the smartest in a way that mattered to anyone else. Smart in the way that mattered to you. The one who understood things faster than the room, who could show up half prepared and still walk out on top, who everyone quietly agreed was going somewhere. That person is still in you, and that should scare you more than anything else in this video, because right now you're not living as that person, you're living off the memory of them. Your parents still tell the story about the one time you fixed something nobody else could. Somebody, somewhere, is still repeating a version of you that's years out of date. And you let them, because updating it means doing something. Every once in a while, you cash in on it. A conversation turns. You say one sharp thing, you explain one thing well, and you watch someone's face change. Wait, you're actually smart, huh? That 30 seconds carries you for months. You don't do anything to earn it again. You just spend the interest. That's not talent anymore. That's a magic trick. And you know the difference because there was a version of you that did the real thing every single day without needing an audience to clap first. Nobody decides to stop trying. It's not a decision. It's a drift. You started picking the video over the deadline. You started picking later over now. You opened the thing you were supposed to do, read the first line, and closed it, already knowing you weren't coming back. Here's the part that should actually worry you. You're still smart enough to feel guilty about it every single time. Stupid people don't feel guilty. Guilt means the smart one is still in there, watching you do this and saying nothing. So let's stop calling this laziness. Laziness doesn't come with this much shame attached. This is fear, wearing laziness as a disguise. Because as long as you never actually try, never sit down and give something everything you have, you never have to find out if you're still that person. Right now, you get to keep the title without ever being tested for it. The second you actually try, and it doesn't go perfectly, you lose the one thing you've been living on, the idea that you're special without ever having to prove it. So you don't try. You'd rather stay an untested genius than become a tested, ordinary person. That's the real trade you've been making. Not comfort over effort, comfort over the truth. You used to finish things. Now you start 12 and finish none. You used to want to be the best in the room. Now you'll settle for not being the worst. You used to get excited when something was hard. Now hard is the first thing you avoid. You used to walk toward a challenge because you knew you'd win. Now you walk away because you're not sure anymore, and not knowing scares you more than losing ever did. Picture the version of you from a few years ago, standing in the exact room you're in right now. Same opportunity, same blank page, same deadline. That version doesn't reach for the phone first. They sit down annoyed that it's hard and do it anyway. Because back then, doing hard things wasn't a personality trait you were proud of. It was just what Tuesday looked like. Now watch the current you in that same chair. Watch how fast the phone comes out. Watch the person who used to make people say that one's going somewhere quietly close the tab and pick something easier instead. If the old you could see you sitting there right now, they wouldn't be disappointed. They'd be confused. They wouldn't even recognize the excuse. Here's the part nobody tells you. You didn't lose your potential. Potential doesn't expire. It's exactly where you left it, untouched. Getting a little more impatient every day you don't use it. You don't need to go find it. You already know exactly where it is. You've just been too scared to pick it back up. Because picking it back up means using it, and using it means finding out if it's smaller than the story people are still telling about you. But nothing worth having is free. Not this either. Getting back to who you were costs something, same as everything that's ever mattered has. It costs the comfort of staying untested. It costs the excuse you've been living inside. It costs the version of you that gets to sit there and still feel smart without ever proving it again. So ask yourself the only question that actually matters here. Are you willing to be bad at something again on the way to being good at it? Are you willing to be tested, knowing you might not pass? Are you willing to trade the comfortable idea of who you were for the real, unproven shot at who you could still become? Because the smart one hasn't left. They're not gone. They're sitting exactly where you put them down. You used to be the smart one. The only question left is whether you're willing to prime up and go find out if you still are.